Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video on multiplying and dividing terms. So you'll be relieved to know that you can multiply or divide two terms even if they're not like terms. So multiplying and dividing terms is easier than adding or subtracting. So why do they not have to be like terms? Well, that's just because multiplication is repeated addition. So if I wanted to do something like 3 times 2x, well, you know 3 and 2x are not like terms. But timesing by 3 is the same as just adding something to itself 3 times. So we know how to do this. If we want to add 2x plus 2x plus 2x, they are all like terms. Each term has one x in it. So we just go 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 and write the pronumeral. Notice we would have got the same answer if we just did 3 times 2 and then write the pronumerals. So that's what I mean by you multiply or divide the coefficients. So if I had something like 7 times 3p, 7 times 3, do the numbers, and then write the pronumeral. How easy is that? Let's say I had 4a times by 2b. 4 times 2 is 8, and then write the pronumerals. Easy as. So let's say I had something like 3x times 2y times 5z. Same thing. 3x times 2y is 6. 3 times 2 is 6, xy. And then I times that by 5z. So 6 times 5 is 30, and then I just write the pronumerals. How easy is that? So note that if I have something like 4x times 2x, so 4 times 2 is 8, x times x is x squared. I need to write that in the power. So just note that when you're multiplying a pronumeral by itself multiple times. So multiplication is easy. Let's look at division, which is a little more complicated. Please pause and copy this down if you need. So let's say I had something like 12a divided by 2. Well, as I said in a previous video, we usually write it as a fraction, 12a over 2. So what we want to do is simplify this fraction. You know, simplifying fractions is just division. So 12 over 2, 12 divided by 2 is just 6. And then we write the pronumeral. Let's say we had 20xy divided by 5. We usually write this 20xy over 5. So 20 over 5 is just 4. And then, of course, you write the pronumerals. So that's easy. But let's look at an example where you're dividing pronumerals by each other. If I had something like 12a divided by a, we write that 12a over a. Remember, we want to cancel common factors. So if a pronumeral is on the top and the bottom of a fraction, we cancel it or cross it out, and we're left with 12. If I had something like 24xy divided by 6x, that's the same as 24xy over 6x. Any pronumeral that's on the top and the bottom, we cancel. It's crossing out a common factor. Of course, 24 divided by 6 is 4, and we just have a y left. So sometimes the numbers won't divide evenly. Of course, whenever you multiply whole numbers, you always get a whole number, but if you divide whole numbers, that's not always the case. So let's say I had, for example, 12yz divided by 20. So we write it as 12yz over 20. Now, of course, 12 doesn't go evenly into 20, so we simplify the fraction. 12 over 20, so we divide by the highest common factor. The highest number that goes into 12 and 20 is 4, so we divide 12 by 4 gives us 3, 20 divided by 4 gives us 5. So then I'm left with 3yz over 5. I didn't cross out either the y or the z, because there wasn't a y on the top and bottom. Similarly, there wasn't a z on the top and bottom. I only cancel out, I only cross out pronumerals when it occurs on the top and bottom. So now to review operations with terms, we're just going to look at some examples where there are quite a few operations. Please pause and copy this down if you need. So basically, anything that works for numbers works for pronumerals too. So the order of operations is the same when you're dealing with pronumerals as if you were dealing with numbers. So in this example, the brackets actually don't make any difference. We do the division first, then the multiplication, and then we subtract. So 27a over 3a is how we write it. So remember, if the same pronumeral is on top and bottom, we cancel it out. So we're left with 27 over 3 times 2b minus ab. So of course, 27 divided by 3 is 9. So we have 9 times 2b minus ab. Order of operations, I do the multiplication first. And I have 18b minus ab. And of course, I can't simplify any further because this term and this term are not like terms. One has an a, one doesn't. So that's as far as I can simplify. So whatever works for numbers also works for pronumerals and vice versa. We follow the same operations. So remember, when we're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, we just do the operation on the coefficients or the numbers in front of. If you're dividing, you might need to cancel. You cancel the pronumeral if it occurs on both the top and bottom of a fraction. And remember, you can only add or subtract terms if they're like terms, but you can multiply and divide terms even if not like terms. All right, thank you so much for tuning in to this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.